Are you tired of the same old pro wrestling? Then check out the amazing action on Powerslam.tv, the biggest indie pro wrestling channel in the world. Get over 3,000 hours of the best pro wrestling events from over 100 of the biggest names in the industry from over 15 countries around the globe. Get your free trial today at Powerslam.tv.
Hello, friends. This is Spencer Love, your host of Over the Top Rope on the Win Column Sports Network. Don't forget you can head to wincolumnsports.ca for all of your previews, reviews, and breaking news from the world of wrestling, be it your major promotions or from the great province of Alberta, Canada.
Awesome!
This is your main man RJ from the Ringside Rant, heard only on the Visionaries Wrestling Network. So go over and subscribe across all your major platforms, iTunes, Google Play, SoundCloud, and Stitcher to hear every great interview I have every Monday on the Visionaries Wrestling Network. Go over and follow the show's page on Twitter @_Ringside Rant. Follow the network's page @BizWrestleNet. And, as always, embrace the vision.
If you like podcasts and you are listening to on Backbreaker Media, then you should listen to me, Chris Parrish,
and myself, Maniah,
and the Sounds of Struggle, because we are literally the most entertaining duo you'll ever come across in Western Canadian wrestling, baby.
We talk about things like wrestling
and other sports we like.
Wrestling.
But we won't talk about other sports that we don't like, because it's not that kind of podcast.
Like wrestling.
I mean, we like hockey.
And wrestling.
And we like football.
And wrestling.
And we also like to drink beer.
While wrestling.
Well, not while wrestling, but while watching wrestling.
Yes.
Yeah. If you want to get into a conversation with Maniac and Chris Parrish, then you need to tune into the Sounds of Struggle live on Backbreaker Media.
Every Thursday.
Is when we hope to drop, but sometimes Mike Malawany doesn't do his job right.
Or we're too drunk to forget.
Yeah, that happens too.
Yeah.
He can bleep out the swear word, because we weren't supposed to do that.
Oh,
but
I'll try not to swear. I can't do it.
Yeah. Let's face it, the two of us, we're real.
And spectacular.
And we're a little bit of all right.
Yeah.
We're also strugglicious.
That we are.
That was kind of a cute. Supposed to be a strugglicious.
Oh, sorry, I'm drunk.
Yeah. So, if you don't want to listen to us, then no, you're stupid, because we're entertaining. And if you want to listen to us, then come listen to us on Backbreaker Media.
Yeah. What he said.
Later, bitches.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 9th edition of Total Nonstop Anarchy. The man with me this week and every week going forward is my co-host, the Danimal Daniel Jobber. How you doing, my friend?
I'm wonderful. Danimal Daniel Jobber here with you again, and happy to be here once again.
I'm happy to have you, buddy. It snowed a good bit here today, but I heard Hinton got, overrun with snow.
Yeah, I had a bunch in Hinton, man. I had to bring out my Russian alter ego. Brush my car off.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, man. Oh, jeez. Yeah, I don't think I never left the house today. Just, that's how I didn't want to deal with snow.
Had to work. That's the only reason I had to leave.
Yeah, so, this past week, we lost a legend in the wrestling business in, one of the greatest backstage announcers of all time in Mean Gene Okerlund.
Yeah, so sad. Let me tell you something, Mean Gene. We're gonna miss you, brother. Oh, yeah, Mean Gene. Gonna miss you, yeah. You being dead like me, bad, yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna miss the. I'm really gonna miss the guy. Like, he was such like a talent.
Yeah, he knew when something was a bunch of garbage.
Like, he always had the talent. Like, if he was about to swear, he cut himself off, which it was so good at his job. And
Barely heard him swear ever. Usually it was garbage or
yeah, like, but
crap
you could, but when he wanted to say crap, he would that's such crap, and then say garbage. Like, he'd cut himself off on it, but like intentionally. He was so good at it, and like I think a lot of guys wouldn't have gotten over if it hadn't have been for that interview with him.
Yeah, he brought the best out of people. He knew how to, like, he's really the prototype, in my opinion, of interviewers for wrestlers that some of the best have gone off of, I think.
I very much think so. And he will be missed for sure. He will be missed for sure.
I watched him on Legend House on the WWE Network, and man, that
was terrible.
Yeah, I liked most of it though, especially the end. Of course, that was
it was enjoyable to a fact, but it was a very terrible show.
Yeah, there's some really weird crap on that one.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna get
garbage. Sorry.
Yeah, garbage. Yeah. So we're gonna get into the show proper, and this week we are reviewing NWA-TNA Weekly Pay-Per-View number 5. On July 17th, 2002, from Nashville, Tennessee, at the Nashville Fairgrounds Coliseum.
And once again, Mike Tenay with Don West and Ed Ferrara.
Oh, no, we're not quite there yet. So
I
got some information for y'all. Before the pay-per-view started, they actually had a couple dark matches this week. And you had the Lost Boys, and I don't have any more information than that, taking on Mark and Jay Briscoe.
The Briscoes back again.
And the Lost Boys did defeat the Briscoes. So, and then in your other dark match of the evening, Bo and Stand Up, probably with Fluffed Up, doesn't mention it, defeated Mike Rapata and Big Bully Douglas. I'm guessing local guys or just guys who were doing tryouts. I'm getting a guess.
Probably just testing the water for the audience.
Oh, very much so. We're just warming them up before this pay-per-view starts. So, they open up with a recap video. Are you surprised?
Not at all. Dreaded flashbacks of Jeff Jarrett's attack.
Of Jarrett for the last 2 weeks. Like, Jarrett over the last 2 weeks is what they're showing. And it's absolutely garbage as always with Jeff Jarrett.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they cut to a pre-tape. It's Goldilocks trying to catch up with Ken Shamrock, and he just starts screaming in her face, tells her to shut up, and then he says he's going to beat the shit out of everyone there.
Not necessarily vulgar. I understand it's
he
trying
literally
to be
said,
entertainment, but
he said, I'm going to beat the shit out of everyone there.
That's why I said it's unnecessarily vulgar. And I mean, I understand what he's trying to do, but it's like, does it need to be just so blatantly vulgar? I don't know.
No, it really doesn't. But also, maybe we're looking at through 2018 glasses, or 2019 glasses here now.
Yeah, that's true. 2019. Happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, and maybe I know back then it was going for shock factor and all that kind of stuff. So that's kind of what they go with. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess. But
yeah,
I thought it was a little bit unnecessarily vulgar. I mean, as parts of the show were, but that's what we got. That's what we're doing.
Yeah. So they cut to the announcers and they start to preview the ladder match, but they get cut off like pretty much right away. And they cut to the back, and it's Scott Hall and Jeff Jarrett fighting in the back. And yeah. Hall ends up like I have to pull this up. At one point, Hall literally picks up like a plastic garbage can, whips it at Jarrett, hits him in the face. Jarrett goes down, but then Jarrett doesn't even sell it a bit. Just jumps right back up. That's pretty much the entire brawl. Like, one guy would get knocked down, but then he'd get right back up.
What you doing with the no sell, brother? That's my department.
Yeah. So, and then the refs and security and all them break up the fight, and Bill Behrens tells Jeff Jarrett he's forfeiting his match, and he's throwing him out of the building.
What? Yeah, that's a what if I ever heard it.
Very much so. I was just like, okay, why aren't you throwing out Scott Hall?
Yeah, like, why didn't he get penalized?
Yeah, I don't know. So they cut back to the announcers, and they're talking about
a pile of garbage.
They're talking about them all fighting, and they at one point I just wrote this down because Mike Tenay when they come back, they're reintroducing themselves, and Mike Tenay calls Don West. It says the Zoot Suit Daddy Don West.
Dude, daddy.
Well, you see his suits, right? Like they're ridiculous. Like it's great. I love
He's no
it.
Don Cherry, eh?
No, but and then we get the music for the new church, and James Mitchell comes out leading the disciples of the new church, Malice, Slash, and Tempest. And James Mitchell says, it's too bad because Jeff, I wrote JJ on my notes because it's easier. Jeff Jarrett doesn't get to bleed tonight. But he says Malice still wants to get blood on his hands, and they put out an open challenge. He says they're extending the thorn branch to anybody who wants to get into this match. That would really hurt, grabbing a thorn branch.
And of course, randomly, anybody could come out, but it's obvious it's not random at all, right?
No. So the lights go out, and Sabu appears in the ring.
So random.
And it's the return of Sabu to total Nonstop Anarchy, ladies and gentlemen. I was not looking forward to it. As you've heard, I'm not a huge, as people have heard in the past, I'm not a huge Sabu fan. So Sabu, it's going to be Sabu versus Malice in a number one contender ladder match. And the winner will face Ken Shamrock on the following week's pay-per-view for the NWA Championship.
100 suspended, high above the ring.
Yeah, it's literally a clipboard, isn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So they pretty much just start out brawling, and then Sabu hits a tornado DDT, and then comes off like a springboard and like just kind of leg drops him while he's sitting up. I don't understand this guy's offense. Like a springboard leg lariat, I guess. I don't know. It was just weird. I don't know. Then they start fighting. Malice gets the advantage again. He beats down, and he's just like choking the crap out of Sabu. I'm like, wow, a little violent. And then Malice, he goes over at the one side, and I don't know if it was Slash or Tempest, but they threw a chair into him, and he turns around and go to hit Sabu, but Sabu just runs up, just kicks Malice in the leg, and just drops the chair, and then Sabu gets a hold of the chair. And we all know what happens when Sabu gets a hold of a chair.
Throws it right at the guy's head. Can you say no concussion protocol here?
No concussion protocol.
Once again.
He whips it at Malice's head. Malice is like down on all fours, and he just whips it at his face. It just right off the skull. Does it like I think 2 or 3 times. It was just stupid.
Yeah, it was, I don't know, a little too much, but
yeah. And then
brutal.
Sabu puts the chair down, like he sets it up like to sit on, but he runs. He goes, and Malice is in the corner, runs and jumps off the chair, but Malice catches him and hits a big old power slam, and then hits a leg drop.
What you gonna do when Malice's giant leg drops hard on you?
Then he goes and just punt kicks the chair out of the ring. Like, just punt kicks it. Like, I was just like, are you trying out for a football team here?
The ladder.
No, the chair.
Oh,
Remember, he just punted it right out of the ring?
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, that was just dumb.
And then they drop kick the ladder, and it's like, what the hell?
Yeah. So, yeah, then, and then somehow one of the disciples goes and gets like the chair again and just shoves it in like into the corner. And then Malice just runs him into the corner. I'm like, where did the chair come from? Then I realized, oh yeah, he has minions. It was just like, what the hell?
Yeah, it was hard to tell.
So Malice starts brawling, beating up on Sabu. He gets him on the ropes, and then he does this thing where he runs the other side, and it looks like he's trying, like I think he was the Cactus Jack like crossbody over the top, taking you both over.
Oh yeah.
I think that's what he was attempting to do, but he kind of just jumps and then just kind of goes over top of Sabu and then hits the apron and falls to the floor.
A little bit of a botch probably.
It just looks so weird. You can see and Malice, like when he stands up, looks very angry. Yeah.
Maybe somebody screwed up and then made the move like all messed up.
I think Sabu just kind of stood there and did nothing and let him go over, and it just kind of looked really bad. So you get, and then Malice pulls the ladder out, and so then he gets the ladder, and it's that whole spot where he walks towards the ring, but the other guy comes and drop kicks the ladder into him, right?
I was sick.
Yeah, and then he does his where he set up a chair again, then hit his like where he go off the chair onto the top rope, and then he leaps to the outside.
Yeah, it was a pretty interesting combo.
The dude's crazy, like flat out, he's crazy. Yeah, and so Sabu ends up getting attacked by I think it was Tempest, but he ends up fighting him off, and then he's fighting with Malice. Then Malice ends up Sabu goes around to the other side of the ring, just randomly pulls out a table, sets it up. Then Malice just comes over, attacks him from behind, and they just walk away from the table.
Yeah, but no table here.
Just oh, I'm gonna set up a table for no goddamn reason.
I'm just gonna leave this here.
Yeah. So so what we didn't see while Sabu was setting up the table was that either Malice or one of Malice's minions set up a ladder across the guardrail and apron, and he snake eyes, like you know the snake eyes from the Taker, like he snake eyes Sabu twice on the ladder, and the second time I think he broke his nose.
Yeah, it looked pretty bad.
Because he was just pouring blood out of his nose afterwards. It was just
all
over his face.
Break his nose.
Just all over his face. Like the blood just all over his face for the rest of the match. It's just gross. Just gross. So they go back into the ring, and they bring the ladder in, and Malice puts the ladder in the corner. Then Malice whips Sabu into it. Then he comes in and splashes Sabu, who's like laying against the ladder in the corner, splashes him. Then he grabs Sabu and the ladder and picks them up. And a World's Strongest slammed both Sabu and the ladder. Like
you'll break his back!
Like he's landing on Sabu into the ladder. It was beautiful.
I love that one.
Like I was impressed. Like you don't usually see a move like that. Usually you see a guy being picked up and slammed onto the ladder.
Very creative ladder usage.
Yeah, it's slammed with the ladder. I liked it. It's good usage of the ladder. And then and then Malice grabs the ladder I think to set it up, but then Sabu's right back up. And then he just jumped to the springboard leg lariat thing and just kicks the ladder into Malice's face. It's like, okay, way to sell, buddy.
Yeah.
I was a little mad about the selling in this match. Malice, it gets like the thing is, even then he doesn't like even taking the ladder to the face. You can see him starting to get up pretty quickly. Sabu sets the ladder up
he's trying to be a monster. I mean,
well, I guess so, but there's got to be some level of selling.
Of the church.
But there's some level of selling, though, right?
Tell that to Hogan.
Yeah. Well, okay. For all Hogan's faults, he could sell when he wanted to.
Yeah, I think.
If he wanted to sell for a guy, he sold very well. And then Sabu sets up the ladder, climbs up, but Malice grabs him and power bombs him. The Malice just says screw it and takes the ladder down. You just powerbomb the guy. Go up the ladder, take the contract. You have minions that can hold him down. Why the heck didn't you do it?
Because he wanted to do a belly to back suplex to Sabu on top of the ladder.
So yeah, he lays him out, like he puts the ladder like not against the top turnbuckle, but against the the top of the ladder on the second turnbuckle. Then just overhead belly to belly release suplex.
Yeah, see, I got an answer to that. When it came to choosing climbing for the contract or belly to back suplexing Sabu on top of the ladder, he chose the ladder.
Oh, that was great. That is great. He chose the ladder. He really did.
One of my favorite puns.
Oh, dude, that's just bad. Malice then sets the ladder up, but he climbs it, but Sabu drop kicks him and he falls over just onto the floor. But then, what I didn't get, Sabu is selling from coming off the top with the drop kick, but Malice just gets right the hell back up. Just no sells it. He puts the ladder in the corner, whips Sabu into it, and then Sabu dodges the splash, then hits Malice ends up falling to the ground, and Sabu goes up to the top, and the ladder's still in the corner, and Sabu just jumps on the ladder on one side and just rides it down onto Malice.
Yeah. Oh, and by the way, I call because I'm a big fan of King Kong Bundy. I call a vertical splash an avalanche.
Yeah. No, but I was just like, I was very impressed. Like, it was like, I've never really seen a guy ride a ladder down onto a guy before.
Yeah, that was
like
pretty
that.
cool.
That's a cool little spot, like an inventive little spot. You don't really see much.
Once again, I said sick.
Yeah. So Tempest tries to attack Sabu with a chair, but Sabu gets it and then hits an Arabian facebuster on Malice. If you don't know what that is, look it up. I love that move. Sabu sets the ladder up, but gets pulled down by Malice, and Sabu gets the chair and hits Malice in the face, like right in the face. But Malice just hits him with a big old spine buster. And then Malice sets up the ladder. Sabu, like, he's on, like, but he puts the ladder, like, close to the, it's kind of obvious.
Well, you mean the spine buster out of nowhere? I think I heard something like that before, yeah.
Yeah. So then Malice sets up the ladder, but he doesn't set it up in the center. He sets it up kind of, like, closer to the side of the ring.
Yeah, not in the center, not where you can get the contract.
And he starts climbing, and, like, even the announcers are saying while he starts climbing, he's like, oh, you're going to have to move the ladder.
A long way to go.
It's a long way to go to get that contract. And then Sabu runs up and just drop kicks the ladder. And Malice goes to the outside and goes through that table that Sabu set up.
Yeah, oh yeah, right through the table, yeah.
Yeah.
How convenient.
How convenient. There's a table right there. And so Sabu puts the ladder back up, climbs to the top, and gets the contract.
And what the hell? There's 3 guys outside of the ring standing around watching him climb the ladder. Why the hell did they not pick that moment to climb in, hold him down, wait for their buddy to get up and climb the ladder? Like, how do you lose a ladder match when you have 3 buddies that can somehow they can hold a guy down? If 3 people on one can hold him down.
Yeah.
That's the craziest booking. I mean, it made no sense.
I don't understand how. It's just stupid. Like, and this is what it makes me mad. The Tempest and Slash come in and start attacking him. Then Malice is right back in the ring, no selling the table, the dive onto the table.
Yeah, like he not hurt at
all.
all.
He didn't I'm like, okay, if you didn't get hurt by the dive to the table, why weren't you back in to stop him? Like, this is just
another one of those what?
Terrible selling, just terrible selling. So the Disciples attack Sabu. And then they set up a table on the outside, and Malice ends up chokeslamming Sabu off the apron and through the floor on the table. Or through the table on the floor, sorry. I wrote that backwards.
But either way, man, they need to come up with I know they want to get the audience to believe it, but they need to come up with a more convincing reason why Disciples wouldn't be able to ensure Sabu didn't climb the ladder. You know, maybe Sabu needed an equalizer or someone to come out.
Yeah, it was like Disciples just kind of stood there like, oh, he's climbing. Oh, we shouldn't interfere. But the thing is, it's a ladder match. There's no DQ. Interfere. You've already done it multiple times in this match.
Yeah, no, it made no sense. Like, sitting, and of course they're walking right towards the ring as he's climbing. It's like, why did you do nothing? It's your guy.
Yeah, it's so dumb. So Sabu wins the match, and it becomes the number 1 contender to the NWA Championship in 13 minutes and 20 seconds. I think it's the marathon match of the night.
Yeah, it was as good a match as there was. Did I call that my number 1 match? I believe. I'm pretty sure I picked that as my match. We'll talk about that at the end anyway.
I definitely wouldn't. There's multiple matches on here that I would pick over this one. So they cut.
I love brutality.
Yeah. So they cut to the back, and they're in the parking lot, and Jeff Jarrett's trying to get back in. He says, I've got a match. But your match is over now, bud. And he's saying, I want back in. I'm being screwed, all this shit. Which, in reality, Jeff Jarrett is being screwed here.
He is badly.
Like, it's dumb, man. It is so dumb. You're making your biggest heel look. He's your heel.
Yeah.
Make him look. Oh, go ahead.
Don't give people fuel to like him. Anything to like him. They want to hate him so bad.
And he is an easily hateable character. Trust me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they cut back in. They cut back to inside, and AJ Styles comes. Like, they show Sabu being helped up and out, and then AJ Styles just walks down the ramp by him and just goes into the ring with a mic. just like nonchalantly. It's like, screw you. I'm taking my time here. And he comes out and starts talking about Jerry Lynn. But Jerry Lynn ends up coming out, interrupts him and tells him to shut the hell up. Lynn, guys, I literally wrote down everything he said in this promo. Jerry Lynn said. So Lynn is pissed that AJ, in reality, the whole mess of this, he's pissed that AJ's younger and more talented than him, is essentially what this whole thing is about.
Pretty much.
He asks AJ how long he's been wrestling. He says 3.5 years. And Lynn says, how long have I been wrestling? And he goes, 14 years. He says, yeah. Lynn says, he's done more in this business in one day than AJ's lifetime.
Right.
Maybe up to that point.
Yeah.
Not now. Not in 2019. Not in 2019. You didn't. He calls him King. Lynn calls him King Shit. Lynn says he never had to sleep in his car, never had to live off peanut butter sandwiches for weeks on end because he can't afford food. Says you ain't shit till you paid your dues like I've done. Now that line of the promo is what kind of angered me.
Yeah. It was interesting.
Especially if you compare it to now. The wrestling business, even from when Jerry Lynn came up to when AJ Styles came up, was a very different place. And it's an even bigger, more different place now.
Not exactly Rocky Johnson, that's for sure.
Like a guy, I don't expect a guy to be going out there and living in his car, living off peanut butter sandwiches for weeks. That doesn't need to be the staple of that a guy has paid his dues, right?
Yeah, Rocky Johnson, that's one of the stories of The Rock, is Rocky Johnson having to make so little money that his family got kicked out of their house, or out of their apartment.
Oh, don't get me wrong, but I'm just saying, as it evolves, people just because a guy gets an opportunity early, it's not a bad thing. That's his luck. He got signed early. He didn't have to pay his dues like everybody else. He lucked out.
And he's damn talented.
He's talented enough that I don't believe he had to spend those 14 years eating peanut butter and jelly, living out of his car. That line bothers me, especially compared to today when it's a different world now. You know what I mean? You still gotta pay your dues and work your way up, but everybody does it in a different way, you know what I mean?
And maybe somewhat in light of the 2000 era, maybe you still could be relevant. Today that promo probably wouldn't work.
No, but but some guys still grind that way through the independent scene. But then there's guys, if you look at now, Velveteen Dream. That dude essentially was doing whatever he was doing. Then at 19 years old, went on a reality show.
The shortcut, the fast track.
Didn't win. It wasn't what I wouldn't call it a fast track. The guy did the reality show, didn't win. WWE signed him to developmental, and he trained in. He got it easier than a lot of guys, right? Getting to work for WWE, getting to be in the performance center and having an income from them the entire time.
And living in Florida is not a bad thing.
But. Well, trust me, I don't know if I want to live in Florida. That place is garbage. Just garbage. But it's not like he spent years in that training center learning his craft. It's not like he didn't learn. He just came up a different way than somebody else. And that's why somebody saying you didn't pay your dues like I did annoys me.
Yeah, it does create the conflict, but it is a little bit superficial. You are right.
Yeah. And then, so back on the promo, Lynn says when he let him be his tag partner, it wasn't AJ doing him a favor, it was Lynn giving AJ an opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lynn won't let him take all the wins and the spotlight. He tells him
you will respect me.
Oh no, that was later on.
Well, pretty quick.
Tells him that was after AJ's match. He says that.
Well, he tells him at that point too. I don't
remember that spot, but I know he tells him to follow his lead. Oh yeah, sorry. He tells him to follow his lead and respect him.
Right.
So yeah, you're right. Sorry, I apologize. So Lynn turns his back, starts walking away, and AJ just runs up, hits an enziguri, hits a discus clothesline, then hits him with a Styles Clash, and just walks the hell out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as soon as AJ leaves, they cut to the back. They don't let things breathe in this company. They really don't.
I know, eh? And then Goldilocks in the
trust
wash.
me, this was a bleed over from WCW. WCW never let shit bleed. They cut right away. Like
the audience gets to enjoy it, but the TV crowd gotta go somewhere else.
No, so we cut to the back. Goldie's in the back, and she's going to interview Jasmine St. Clair, but she throws through a video recap of the attempted striptease from the week before, and it shows the awesome spear by Ed Ferrara to the NWA vice president. That was my favorite spot of that segment, man. He just tackles him out of nowhere. I just loved it. It was so good. And so they cut back, and Goldie goes to interview Jasmine, but then Francine just attacks her and like beats the crap out of her, and they're in a bathroom. Then she just like fights her into a shower, turns the shower on, and then just like leaves her laying in a shower,
crying on the floor.
I was just like, really? This is just stupid. But again, 2002 TNA, tits and ass, right?
Yeah.
So guess what we cut to?
That's K Crush after that.
No, Girls in Cages Dancing. The first time on the show. We got our first shot of Girls in Cages Dancing. So
that looks like a cheap strip club, but it's entertainment.
Yeah. So from there we cut to K Crush, and he comes down to cut a promo. Do you want to take over here now?
Maybe I can. Yeah, he comes into the ring and tells us, "What's up? What's up? What's up?"
That is definitely not what he says.
Doesn't use those words, you know. He talked about how he looks, moves, acts, even smells like a star.
Yeah.
And asks why that at this point in his career he isn't a bigger star. Why he's put in a match with NASCAR driver. Like, he didn't bring that on himself, right?
Yeah.
He also asked why WWE let him go.
That was the one that bothered me the most. I'm like,
as if Vince cuts people because they might make more money than he wants them to, or be more famous than he wants them to be. Like, as if.
Oh, he said they would have had to sell his T-shirts, and maybe he would have had gold around his ripped up ab waist.
Yes.
I wrote it word for word. I was like, what the hell? Oh my god.
It was pretty interesting. Anyways, yeah.
Essentially, he's playing up like the oppressed black man gimmick, right?
Pretty much, yeah.
And then don't get me wrong, it's a gimmick that's been out there, but it's a gimmick that has been out there a lot, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyways, he says he's going to take what's his and climb to the top of that mountain. So that's K Crush expressing his attempt to take on the roster, basically.
No, but the line I liked the most was, he says, "I'm not an angry black man. I am the truth, and the truth will not be denied."
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure within like a few weeks he becomes Ron to the Truth Killings.
Ah, okay. Was he ever R-Truth before that, or is that the name he took later?
No, R-Truth was a WWE thing, because he was K-Quick in WWE, then he became K-Crush, then he became Ron the Truth Killings, and then when he went back to the WWE later on, that's when he became R-Truth. Yeah, so... Okay. But I just like that he was like, "I am not an angry black man. I am the truth, and the truth will not be denied." I was like, "Ha, he's the truth."
I love Ron Killings. I'm looking forward to seeing his rise to the top. Spoiler alert, but
yeah,
he does have some pretty good rising in the next couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, next few weeks he's gonna really rise up the ranks. So the next match of the evening is K Crush taking on Screaming Norman Smiley.
Yep, you betcha. That's one I'm gonna be talking about here, because that was short but pretty entertaining match. K Crush starts out attacking Norman from behind and hammering away as he enters the ring as the bell tolls. K Crush pounds Norman down in the corner and steps away to yell at the fans. But he whacks Norman in the head, taking him down, picks him up, and attempts to whip him into the ropes. But Norman reverses it and counters with a hip toss. Then K Crush tries to attack, but whoop! Norman leapfrogs over him. Norman then sticks his hand in K Crush's face like he's making him smell his hand or something. Hey, who knows where that hand has been, man?
Oh,
then Norman
I don't want to know.
dances for the fans.
We saw his wife. I don't know.
Yeah. Then Norman dances for the fans quickly and grabs K Crush into a headlock. K Crush whips him from this into the rope, but Norman dodges with a drop down and does a show-offy body slam to K Crush.
It's called the wind him up slam.
Okay, wind him up slam.
Because he's kind of like winding him up to smack him down.
I noticed he was winding
rotations a bit, and because the announcers call it, they say he hits him with the wind him up slam.
Oh, okay, I'll have to remember that. I hadn't heard that name before.
Yeah, I've heard it a couple times when I've seen him wrestle before. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was K-Crush crawls for the sanctity of the ropes, and Norman comes up from behind like he's going to sodomize him, but decides it's not time yet.
No,
hey, Honor,
it's not time to hump him just yet.
Yeah. Hey, Honor, do you know what Norman Smiley says is bad about sodomy?
No.
Nothing. People should Gamora.
God, dude, come on. Come on.
Sorry, I had to get into the spirit a little bit of the smucker.
Oh, jeez.
Smut to the snow. Then Norman whips K-Crush, but K-Crush ducks underneath and attempts some kind of upside-down drop kick. But Norman catches him in the wheelbarrow position.
Well, yeah, I think he was probably going for like a wheelbarrow bulldog or something.
Something like that, yeah. I guess for the spanking machine, as he proceeds to smack that arse, and then boom, slams K-Crush's face hard down into the mat from this wheelbarrow position. That weren't pretty, and neither is K-Crush's face at this point.
Well, he didn't get to hit him. He didn't get to sodomize him. Get to hump him a little, you know.
Yeah, that was pretty crazy. Anyways, Norman tries for the cover. 1, 2. K-Crush says no. Norman sends K-Crush into the corner, but hits him with an uppercut, and then whips him into the other corner. But K-Crush leapfrogs over him, does some flippity-flu somersault shit. Sorry, stuff. Lunges under a Norman Smiley punch into the splits. Like he does that splits move. That was amazing.
Oh, I love it.
Gets up and hits Norman with a one-legged drop kick. Answer me, Norman! Then K-Crush covers. 1, 2. Norman says no. Covers again. Another 2 count. Then K-Crush picks up Norman and snake eyes him into the corner turnbuckle. Yeah, I was going to say I do know the snake eyes.
Yeah, you do.
And starts to hammer away. He steps on Norman's throat with both feet. No, you'll break his throat. K-Crush tries to whip Norman corner to corner, but Norman reverses and charges in, only to be floored by the vicious boot of K-Crush. K-Crush then misses a roundhouse uppercut, and Norman slams him back with a wimpy German suplex. Not Suplex City, more like Suplex Village. Not exactly Brock Lesnar. Anyways, both men lay on the ground trying to figure out who wants it most. Then K-Crush attempts several punches, but Hulk Hogan style Norman blocks with the left and hammers with the right and drives K-Crush to the mat. Norman then picks up K-Crush and drops him with a vicious jumping headbutt. No, you'll break his head!
Oh, I hated that headbutt.
Yeah, did you? Norman Smiley's little wobbly ragdoll figure.
That was terrible.
He presents himself in a very wobbly, kind of jittery way. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyways, Norman then whips K-Crush into the ropes, hits him with his shoulder, bounces off another rope, and floors him with a clothesline, and then picks up K-Crush and rear views his head back into the mat. Thank you, wife of the Uso, Jimmy Uso. Naomi.
or Ryusuke Taguchi too.
Okay, that's a good point.
Yeah.
And he pauses to show off and accept the crowd's praise anyways. Norman tries to whip K-Crush again, but K-Crush counters it into an armbar, boots Norman in the gut, picks Norman up, and destroys him with a vicious front face buster from a suplex position. He covers, hooks the leg. 1, 2, 3. Your winner, K-Crush. And that's what's up.
That's 3 minutes and 20 seconds.
3.5 minutes. Can you say squash match?
Yeah. Well, not really, because Norman had most of the offense, so you can't call it a squash match.
That's a good point. Yeah, really, there was not that much. R-Truth just did the move at the end. And of course, back in the old days, sometimes that was all it was. The winner would just do what his finisher, and that would be the end, you know? So back in the old Superstars of Wrestling days.
Yeah, that's kind of true, but yeah, I wouldn't call this a squash.
3.5 is awfully short, though, I thought. But
yeah.
After the match, K-Crush takes off his belt and proceeds to whip Norman Smiley, and then hangs him with the belt from the ropes.
Okay, hold on. Literally, when he's taking his belt off, I think it was Don Wester Ferraris going, is he going to take his pants off?
Leave it to Don Wester.
Oh, it's terrible.
Yeah, they got to have that little smut in there. Anyways, Norman's wife comes out to help. What's that, Mother? No, Mother, I'm not quite dead yet. After freeing her husband, K-Crush tries to choke her then, but luckily the refs break it up, saving the two of them from the wrath of K-Crush!
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And now, a midget in a trash can.
Yeah, so they cut to the back, and Goldilocks is in the back, and she's interviewing Puppet, but he's in a trash can. Pretty much, I'm going to get to the gist of this. He says he has PMS. She said because she's wondering what he's doing in there. He's like, well, I'm not spanking my monkey. Hey, little girl, would you like some porridge? That was just creepy. As creepy as you can get. Then he says he has PMS, pissed midget syndrome, and the only cure for PMS is beating a midget.
Yeah.
He says after his match, he will give her the cobra, and then she says, it's more like a garden snake.
Yeah. Then she says, as soon as her singing career takes off, I'm out of here. Like, because if she has a singing career in the way.
And then she walks up to the Dups, and they're playing Spin the Bottle.
Goldilocks walks away and encounters 3 bears. Well, actually, 3 Dups.
3 Dups, yeah. And they're playing Spin the Bottle, and they're cousins, so it's creepy.
Yeah, very.
And Bo is making out with Fluff, and then Stan's like playing with a lighter, just being all creepy and shit.
It's a weird sound.
And then he goes, he says to her, he's like,
got some pretty little lips.
She goes, oh, thanks. And he goes, not those lips.
Yeah, obviously he's talking about motorboating. Sounds like Mr. Dupp wants to get himself some pontoon.
That was just creepy.
That whole thing was gross. Like, why? I just don't get it. I mean, I know they're trying to be entertaining, but
this isn't entertaining at all.
Every chance they get to be offensive, they do, and it doesn't.
That guy would Stan eventually becomes entertaining when he goes to the WWE as Trevor Murdoch. But not.
I think they were probably watching South Park too much at this time and thought, well, if they can be over the top offensive every chance they get, we got to do it too. But wrestling fans aren't necessarily South Park fans, so I don't know.
I agree with that 100%. So guess what we cut to?
To match number 3.
No, Girls in Cages Dancing.
Oh, more Girls in Cages Dancing. Can't forget them.
Can't forget the Girls in Cages Dancing. And then we go to match number 3, which is the Flying Elvises. Sonny Siaki and Jorge Estrada versus the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels and Primetime Ela Skipper.
Yep, Jorge Estrada and Sonny Siaki. That was a pretty cool team. I'm definitely digging them a little bit, although I know they're not going to be together too long. But
not after not after this match.
Yeah. But anyways, I just make a note that of course, we're seeing Primetime Elix Skipper and the Fallen Angel Christopher Daniels, who become 2/3 of the initial Triple X down the road, right?
Yeah, they do. Part of Vince Russo's Sports Entertainment Extreme, aka Sex. Yeah, aka Sex.
Something for the future, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Anyways, they have a quick flashback from the Flying Elvis attack at the end of the X Division #1 Contenders match from last week, which, they were basically saying, we should be part of this match, and really they should. I mean, they are X Division. This is X Division wrestling at its best.
But I think they got probably, 5 of the 6 best people they could have, outside of maybe Tony Mamaluke, but...
I think it's done with 8, but it would have made it a little bit too
that would have been way too long, man. I would have hated recapping 8 people. 6 was enough, dude.
Yeah, you're probably right. What do you do with the Elvises? They had a tag team match, I guess. But yeah, this match has such fast action, if you blink, you just might miss something. It's that kind of match. So.
Oh, yeah.
So anyway, Skipper and Daniels run right into the ring as the bell tolls and double duck under the Flying Elvis' attacks and hammer away on the Elvises back into the ropes. Skipper and Daniels then bounce off the opposite rope, run at the Elvises, and Skipper clotheslines Estrada over the top, but Siaki counters and with a body drop, sending Daniels out of the ring. Siaki then whips Skipper into the rope, but Skipper ducks under, grabs the opposite rope, and vaults himself over the top onto Estrada at ringside. Pretty sick opening combo there.
Oh yeah, a great opening. These guys, 4 of the best guys in the X Division, man. Just anything these guys do is great.
They were at the bat, you just know it's going to be great. And Estrada then rolls back into the ring to a kick from Daniels and then bounces off the rope, and after a crisscross, bounces into a sit-out facebuster from Estrada. Estrada does a little Elvis dance for the crowd. Oh, thank you very much.
Okay. When I see him dance, you know what makes me think of?
What?
The Disco Inferno.
Yeah.
That is exactly, every time he dances, I think of disco.
It doesn't exactly strike me as Elvis in that way, but
he's doing a disco dance.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, it's kind of funny. As Estrada leaves the ring as Siaki, the correct man, finally re-enters, and Daniel leaves the ring as well. Siaki goes after the newly re-entered Skipper and hammers away. Siaki goes for a half whip, but pulls Skipper back and down hard on his throat on the bottom rope. Oh, don't be cruel, man. Siaki then grabs the reeling Skipper and boom, hits him with a vicious pop-up Samoan drop. Siaki goes for the cover, but 2 slaps of the left hand is all he can get. Siaki then tags in Jorge Estrada and goes to sit down to gab with the announcers while his partner grapples alone.
Actually, he hit the pop-up and he got the pin, then Estrada actually came in and just hits a running shooting star splash.
Oh yeah, because they were you kind of see both things at once. It was hard to keep track.
Yeah, they hits that, and that's when they cut away to him heading over to the announcer's table.
They did have Estrada bounces off the rope and hits a clumsy moonsault. Awkward. Because yeah, I didn't like that moonsault.
No.
And he covers 1, 2. Skipper says, "No way, Jorge." Estrada whacks Skipper back hard into the head twice, driving him into the corner. Goes for the whip into the other corner. The whip is countered by Skipper, but when Estrada hits the corner, he jumps up onto the first turnbuckle and backwards stunts his way back onto his feet. Pretty cool. Skipper pounds him into the back, goes for a back suplex, but is countered into a front grapple by Estrada, who hits a butterfly suplex on Skipper in the center of the ring. He covers again. 1, 2. No way, Jorge again. Estrada takes down Skipper again, covers once again, and once again, you guessed it. No way, Jorge. I like saying that. Estrada
Please don't ruin this character for me with No Way Jose references. Jesus.
We'll get there. Estrada continues to work on Skipper, made easier by Daniels trying to get back into the ring to help his partner illegally, forces the ref to give him undue attention instead of the slightly unlawful attacks from Estrada on his partner. Estrada does an Irish whip clothesline to Skipper and does a bit more Elvis dancing to taunt the crowd as Siaki leaves the announce table to rejoin the match finally. Estrada then tags in Siaki and they put Skipper in the corner. Hey, nobody put Skipper in the corner.
They did.
Yeah. Siaki then slams Skipper's head into the next clockwise corner, then whips him into the opposite corner, but then charges into a high boot from Skipper. Skipper misses with a spinning uppercut, and Siaki grabs him, puts him in a pile driver position, but then pulls him up to his shoulder and delivers a vicious shoulder backbreaker to Elix Skipper. He goes for the cover. 1, 2. Skipper says no. Siaki then tags in Estrada, who does a sick leap over the top turnbuckle, springboards his arse off the opposite top rope, and moonsaults onto Skipper. He covers, and you guessed it, no way, Jorge, no way, Jorge, no way,
no,
Jorge, no way,
I hate that shit, man.
I
Come
couldn't
on.
let you off the hook, man.
Oh, it's terrible, just terrible.
I know. Skipper tries to counter back with a couple of punches, but Estrada catches him into the pile driver position, lifts him up into the razor's edge position, and does some kind of delayed inverse suplex over his head.
It looks more like he had him in like the spot or the outside. I wrote down Splash Mountain position, but like that outsider position, and he lets him go. It's kind of reminiscent of what I thought was like James Storm would hold him up and he would spin, then let him go, and sometimes grab him with a neck breaker. It was almost like he like threw him up and then like, kind of hit a neck breaker almost.
It's very creative. Anyways, I couldn't quite describe the move.
I'm pretty sure it was like it was that edge position into a neck breaker is what it looked like to me.
Yeah, back and neck on the shoulder is all I could tell for sure.
Yeah.
But anyways, he tries for another cover, but Daniels breaks it up this time. Siaki has once again deserted his partner and gone to the announce table, leaving his partner Estrada crying in the chapel. Oh, thank you very much.
Yeah.
Back in the ring, Estrada tries for a whip, but Skipper counters. Estrada grabs him on the rope, and Skipper charges into a back vault onto the apron. Estrada bounces off the opposite rope and attacks, just as Skipper uses the top rope to vault into the ring with a somersault and a vicious clothesline, driving Estrada to the mat. Both men lay on the mat.
That clothesline,
himself. Yeah?
I love it. Like, Hangman Page does that as one of his main moves now. That slingshot clothesline. Oh, it's so good. I love that move. I want WWE to put that in a game. It's such an awesome move.
Yeah, it was pretty impressive. And of course, there's an even more impressive the Bulldog clothesline combo after too. But
from Daniels, yeah.
That was pretty impressive as well. But anyway, Skipper crawls to a hot tag to Daniels, who stops Estrada from tagging, and then drop kicks Siaki as he enters the ring. Daniel clotheslines to Estrada and grabs him in the suplex position. Siaki tries to break it up with a clothesline, but Daniels ducks and hits Siaki with a back kick while continuing the headlock on Estrada, and here it is. He pushes Estrada back into the ropes and does a running combo attack, doing a bulldog to Estrada while at the same time clotheslining Siaki. Can you say sick?
Yeah, sick.
That was gorgeous, man. That was pretty
very
cool.
much so.
They coordinated it perfect, and it went over great.
Oh, yeah.
Then Daniels dances for the crowd for a second to get them fired up and grabs Siaki as he regains his feet and drives him into the corner. Estrada comes in from behind Daniels, though, and hits him with a back suplex, looks at his partner, and then turns towards Daniels. However, at this moment, Daniels is on his hands and knees, allowing Skipper to run from the opposite corner, jump off of Daniels' back, off Estrada's shoulders, and nothing but Siaki's head. Siaki appears to catch Skipper, but Skipper counters into a sick Hurricane Rama, forcing Siaki to roll out of the ring. And at this moment, Daniels comes up from behind Estrada and hits him with a Samoan driver into a pinning combination, getting a 1-2, that's all. But
now that whole section was
that
beautiful.
tag team wrestling, man.
Oh, that was beautiful. Like, and it just shows the pure athleticism of Elix Skipper. Like, that dude can do anything in a ring.
It's all X Division, man. I tell you, they're just killing it for that kind of stuff.
Very much so. Those are the best parts of this show.
That's why this match actually very close to being my match of the night. It's one of those ones that was on my list. It was then Daniels headbutts Estrada and hits him with a right hand, driving him into the ropes. He grabs Estrada and tries an Irish whip, but Estrada counters into a whip of his own, and as Daniels hits the rope, Siaki grabs his leg and trips him down hard. Ah! No, you'll break his face! I have that all the time. Then Estrada runs into the fallen Daniels and low drop kicks him in the head. Weird low drop kick, that one. Then Estrada climbs to the second rope, does his Elvis dance, taunt for the crowd, and hits a flying leg drop, otherwise known as...
It's Disco Inferno dance.
Oh, yeah, sorry. And does his flying leg drop, otherwise known as the move borrowed by the original Marquis. On to Daniels. Estrada covers, and yet again, 2 count, and no way, Jorge. Sorry, last time.
Yeah, better be. Better be.
Estrada tags in Siaki and holds Daniels in the corner as Siaki enters and takes over with a vicious karate chop, and then another one. But Daniels counters with a right hand, and again, and one for Estrada, and he turns around and gives him 1-2. However, he turns around to the surprise of a raised knee from Siaki. Hey, Siaki has knees too.
Yeah, I guess so.
Siaki goes back to work on Daniels in the corner by planting his foot in Daniels' throat. No, you'll break his larynx. Then he backs up into the opposite side of the ring, turns around and gives a surprise shot to Skipper, who doesn't take kindly to it, and enters the ring after Siaki as he turns and goes back to Daniels in the opposite corner. He gives Siaki a shot, and as the ref grabs him and ushers him abruptly back to his own corner, Siaki tags in Estrada, who works Daniels into the corner, in the counterclockwise corner, and then whips him into the opposite corner. Estrada charges into the corner, but at Daniels, but nobody home as Daniels moves out of the way. Then Daniels surprises the reeling Estrada with a nasty enziguri, driving him to the mat. Just so much action. Back.
Oh, dude, so much.
Go, man. Both men lay on the ground and start crawling away from each other. Finally, Estrada tags in Siaki while Daniels hot tags in Elix Skipper. Skipper comes in, takes down Siaki, hits Estrada, then Siaki again, then wheel kicks Estrada against the top rope. Skipper then grabs Siaki and takes him down with a nasty arm drag. He hits Siaki with a belly-to-back suplex. He then grabs Siaki and hits him with a butterfly suplex and rolls his body over into a pinning combination, getting the 1-2 and broken up by Estrada. Beautiful combination again by Skipper. That's a hot tag, man, if I ever saw one.
Oh, that guy's awesome.
Yeah. Siaki then tags in Estrada, who ducks under a clothesline attempt from Skipper. Estrada then grabs Skipper's head and boom shakalaka, hits him with a sit-out facebuster. Estrada then vaults off the middle rope pathetically, does a clumsy roll into a pathetic senton. Can you say, awkward?
Yeah.
He goes for a cover. 1-2, broken up by Daniels. Estrada tries to pick up Skipper, but Skipper counters with a right hand to the midsection of a spinning mule kick and then tags in Daniels. Oh, yeah, that combo was awful. I can't believe that.
Oh, terrible.
Estrada could be so good at some time, and that was just like awful. Like, why did you even do that? And when Daniels has a takedown on Estrada, gestures to the crowd, goes into the corner, bounces off the second turnbuckle rope, vaults off the top turnbuckle rope, and hits a high-flying moonsault onto Estrada. Sick! Daniels covers, 1-2, broken up by Sonny Siaki. Siaki drives Daniels into the corner and attempts to whip him out, but Daniels counters in with a reverse takedown. Daniels then tags in Elix Skipper, who goes to the top rope and hits a pin missile dropkick on Siaki. Sick! So sick itself will say, oh God, that's sick! Mm-hmm. Skipper covers, 1-2, Siaki says no.
Yeah.
Oh, this match was getting so crazy. But yeah, that's I'm going to say that's, which is the one I was going to ask you what you thought of. The bounces off the second turnbuckle, vaulting into the turnbuckle and the flying moonsault, man.
Yeah, the BME.
Oh, okay, that's the term.
That is literally the BME. He gets onto the second, hops onto the third, and launches off. That's the best moonsault ever.
Okay. I'll have to try to remember that one. Anyway, Skipper tries to whip Siaki, but Siaki counters, puts Skipper in an abdominal stretch position, and then proceeds to suplex him from that position, straight over his head, and right down on his neck. Totally sickericious, man. Cover 1, 2, broken up by Daniels. Daniels battles with Siaki for a second, and both men take each other over the top rope, leaving Estrada to battle Skipper in the ring. Estrada tries for a suplex on Skipper, but Skipper counters, kicks to Estrada's midsection, and goes for his play of the day finisher. Estrada counters, grabs Skipper in the rear waist grip position as their partners grapple outside the ring. Estrada does some kind of a back body salt on Skipper. You couldn't see it very good.
Like he hits him with he goes for a German suplex, but he like flips over and lands on his feet.
He lands on his feet, and Skipper or Estrada thinks he succeeded and starts to show off to the crowd with his Elvis dance, Disco Inferno dance. Yeah. Skipper comes up behind him. Skipper grabs him, turns him around, and hits his play of the day for sure this time, and covers 1, 2, 3. Skipper and Daniels wins. But wait, the ref was busy scolding their two partners outside of the ring and didn't see the pin. How unfortunate.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Skipper goes to the ref to grab the ref, turn him around, and give him heck, while Siaki climbs back into the ring. Skipper scolds the ref some more and turns around just in time to see Siaki hit him with the rolling neck breaker. Shake, rattle, and roll, baby.
The money clip.
Yeah, or shake, rattle, and roll, baby. Yes, I said it. Shume. Siaki covers Skipper. 1, 2, 3. Here are your winners. Jorge Estrada, Sonny Siaki, the Flying Elvises.
I think they're more like the Flying Infernos by this point.
Yeah, they should be. They should just get rid of the Elvis completely. I mean, the costumes are kind of cool, I guess. But it was a huge win for the Flying Elvises, and then they're celebrating with little posing and dancing. But wait. Here comes the Dupps. In fact, all three members of the Dupp dynasty. Had to throw that in there. And they got boards in their hands.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I had to think of the Dupp dynasty. Stan Dupp breaks a board over Estrada's head. Then Bo Dupp breaks the board over Estrada's head. And then Fluff Dupp comes in and grabs a board, wanting a little action too. So Bo and Stan Dupp hold Estrada's arms while Fluff breaks the board over Estrada's head. Unlike Fluff Dupp, Jorge Estrada is left lying flat as a board on the mat.
Yeah.
Unlike Fluff Duff. So then the Dupps celebrate with a little dancing. And if you dance like that, you might be a redneck. Then Bo Dupp and Stan Dupp go for a little kissing cousin action on Fluff Dupp. If you ask me, the whole thing is a little fluffed up. Yes, I said flucked up. Once again, Shume. Thank you very much.
Jesus.
Anyways, the whole match and the following action was over 11 minutes of non-stop, breathtaking action.
Oh, yeah. And so then we cut to girls in cages dancing, but this time, Tio's in the cage with one of the girls.
Yeah, and then what he did was, yeah.
No, that wasn't yet. That's not yet. At this point, he's just dancing in the cage with the girls. So they cut to the back, and Goldie's in the back with K-Crush. He says he will slap her around, and then Hall just starts attacking K-Crush. Beats the shit out of him, and then he goes 2 down, 1 to go.
Yeah, that was great.
Yeah. So we cut back to the ring, and it's match number 4 time, and it's a midget hardcore match. It is the debut of Meatball taking on everybody's favorite midget, Puppet the Psychodorf.
That was the debut of Meatball? Does he wrestle more? Or
I don't know. I'm just saying it's the first time he's seen himself. The debut of Meatball.
Yeah.
There's literally a cart full of food at the ringside, and Meatball comes down, grabs some food on his way by. Brent grabs a bag of chips or something, and it's eating food during his entrance. It's what the fuck. So Puppet comes down. He tosses I think a garbage can and a kendo stick into the ring, and then Puppet they get in. Puppet just grabs the trash can and smashes it into Meatball's head. Then he picks him up and body slams him on. Usually when I've seen a midget get body slammed onto a trash can, they do a little bit, they dent it a little bit. Puppet crushed it. That dude's huge. I think they said he's in at 250 pounds or something.
Crushing it literally and figuratively. Those guys were big midgets.
Well, Meatball especially. They said he was weighing in at 250 pounds.
Jeez,
dude,
that's more than me.
That's more than some of my friends who are much bigger than me, or taller, way taller than Meatball. I was just holy crap, this guy's gigantic. I think he said 250. I could be wrong, but maybe they said 215. I'm not sure. But Jesus, Puppet hits a drop kick. He puts a can on Meatball while he's sitting on the corner, and then hits the drop kick into the corner on a Meatball kick. Drop kicking the trash can into his face. as you do with trash cans. You drop kick them into people's faces, right?
Yeah, exactly.
I do it all the time.
Yeah. Gotta love Mr. Mr. McMahon. Eh? Mr.
Yeah. Meatball then, or Puppet tosses Meatball out, or one of them tosses. Oh no, this is where Meatball comes back, tosses Puppet out, and he gives him a double axe handle. Just like, oh, that's impressive, right? Ooh. Just after everything else we've seen with dives, I'm like, okay, maybe you should stay away from the dives, boys. Meatball ends up slamming Puppet on the outside, and then the most, literally the most athletic thing he does in this match, he does a cartwheel and then hits an elbow drop. Impressive, right?
Yeah, so much impressive, isn't he?
Yeah, look, it's impressive for a guy, I just said puppet.
He's a large, awkward midget. That's pretty impressive.
Midget that round.
Yeah.
It was surprising he could do that. I was very surprised by it. They end up by the food cart, and Meatball, I keep wanting to call him Muppet. I don't know why.
Muppet and Puppet.
I guess that could be their tag team, Muppet. Meatball ends up pie-facing Puppet, and then starts hitting him with food till Puppet ends up hitting a low blow on Meatball.
And then melon. That's using your melon.
So then Puppet hits him with a bag of flour, and then he breaks watermelon over Meatball's head.
There you go. That's using your melon.
Yeah, that's using your melon right there.
That was coming somewhere.
Yeah. you finished too early.
Preempted it.
And then he starts taking a trash can lid and just smacking Meatball directly to the head. Then he ends up and then Puppet ends up drop kicking a chair into Meatball. And then Meatball gets whipped into the steps. Then Puppet goes on, climbs up the steps, and as Meatball gets up, he jumps off and hits him with a tornado DDT for a 2 count on the outside. Now,
it's a hardcore match.
What I really liked about that was he went up a step or two and then jumped off and hit the tornado DDT. It was just it's like the midget equivalent to going onto the second or third rope.
I could wait.
God, I loved it.
I love midget wrestling.
This one was super enjoyable. And then I guess Puppet ends up they start brawling again, and they get up on the apron. He puts Puppet kind of like you know how Jerry Lynn will hang a guy on the second rope and then jump and then come off the rope and hit a leg drop.
Right. Oh yeah. Right.
So Puppet does the same thing, except it's Meatball on the bottom rope, who is so big that he's the rope's literally touching the mat, and he's pretty much just laying on the mat almost. And then Puppet jumps off and drops him in the back of the head. It was just like, what the hell?
It was a little awkward, but then again, midgets are awkward anyways.
So then Puppet ends up
entertaining.
So Puppet puts a chair on top of Meatball and goes up and does what he calls the midget bomb, otherwise known as the Vader bomb, onto the chair, and then he pins Meatball for 3 count. And Puppet the Stegodorf wins in 6 minutes and 12 seconds.
It didn't seem that long, though. It seemed like it was such a fun match.
Went way longer than I thought it did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And 3 minutes on the K-Crush match.
And then Puppet just takes off. He just left. He didn't stick around, nothing. He just got the hell out of the ring.
Yeah, no celebrating, no showboating, no in-your-face crowd, just goodbye.
So so they cut to the girls in cages dancing, and they show Tio in the cage with the girl again, and then Puppet walks behind the cage, and you can see him just looking at Tio like, you son of a bitch or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then Tio just, he's dancing with a girl, and then, she kind of, goes down to it, and he kind of looks like he's grabbing her titty, and starts trying to, then he literally tries to pull her top off.
Yeah.
And she gets all mad, and he runs out, and then he just completely failed at it.
That was another what?
Jesus. So we cut back to the ring into pretty much more girls dancing as Jasmine St. Clair comes out. And
they were pretty much dancing the whole time.
Pretty much. It's pretty much just like another Girls in Cages dancing segment. And out comes the Queen of Extreme, Francine. And when Jasmine comes out, she's all wet. She's still, somehow she didn't have the ability to dry off in all that time.
Even Hulk Hogan would be oiled, dripping with oil during his promo segments, and he'd come to the ring dry as a bone. Some magic.
She's still wet. Her hair's still wet. You can see she's still kind of wet. Like her top like is like wet. Like you see her nipples through her top.
Now they didn't do a pre-segment like Hulk Hogan would always do.
Yeah, so Jasmine calls out Francine, and then Francine comes out and catfight.
This is softcore porn. Let's be honest. This
It's
almost
a
qualifies as
softcore porn
porn.
catfight is what it's all it is. And then so Jasmine starts stripping Francine, taking her top off. Then Francine gets the advantage. She pulls off Jasmine's pants. And then she starts spanking. She pulls the belt out.
Yeah, whip that arse.
And she starts smacking Jasmine's ass.
Francine, the first lady of hardcore wrestling and softcore wrestling porn.
Yeah, pretty much. And then out comes the Blue Meanie.
Her boyfriend. He all lives in the Yellow Submarine. The blue guy. Blue dust.
Yeah, the Blue Meanie is a lucky man if he's dating Jasmine.
Cool
don't get me wrong. Like, don't get me wrong. He's super lucky if he's dating Jasmine. That chick's hot.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. And
but he's the blue guy.
Yeah, and Blue Meanie DDTs Francine. Now, this is where the match, I think, kind of ends.
Yeah, Francine's supposed to be hurt.
Like Ed Ferrara's flipping out on commentary. Then Ed Ferrara gets in the ring to check on Francine as the paramedics and all of them come out. And it's the first time Ferrara wasn't being creepy with Francine.
And it's amazing because she's laying in the ring and you can practically see under her top. And it's like, yeah, what do you think of the topless Francine, Jeremy Borash? Is not.
I don't think Boris would say that.
No, that's my. I gotta bug him about his name, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So you want to know? I was very impressed by the EMTs when they were putting her onto the backboard. The one EMT actually held her head as they turned her and they stabilized the neck.
Yeah, they actually tried to do it properly. Looked like they were doing it properly and knew what they were doing for once.
Yeah, I was very impressed.
Like those excellent security guards they always have.
Yeah, I was very impressed. So, and then we cut to the back, and Goldilocks goes to interview Loki, but he's like, ugh, and just walks away. And it's just like, what the hell? What was the point in that segment?
Yeah.
We could have done anything else but that.
Yeah.
I'm like, why? That's the dumbest shit in the world. So we come back to the ring, and it's time for match number 6. It is Low-Ki challenging AJ Styles for the X Division Championship.
Yeah.
It starts
X
with
Division's killing it.
So it starts with a bunch of chain wrestling and striking exchanges, and it goes on for almost 3 minutes. It's just them rolling headlock to arm lock, and they get up, kick each other a couple times, then back to headlocks and roll. Like it goes on for a good 3 minutes of that.
Yeah, it was.
Like impressive, but during this whole first 3 minutes, if you about 2 minutes in or so, if you look into the crowd, if you start looking at the crowd, nobody's paying attention. Like everybody stood up and like looking off camera somewhere. Like a bunch of the people at ringside have their backs turned, and they're looking at something going on off camera. Something's happening, and it goes on throughout the match. If you watch the crowd throughout the whole match, they're very, like, turning away looking at other stuff.
Could it be they're still dragging Francine out of the ring?
Well, no, like, they were looking off into the crowd. Like, the ramp was the other way. They were looking towards the crowd side, not the ramp side.
Weird.
It was weird. I was just like... And, like, people were yelling. You could hear people yelling, but it wasn't for the match. It was just random yelling. See people in the crowd, like, pointing and yelling at something, but they don't, like, I don't know what it was.
That must have been happening, maybe a commotion in the crowd.
Something happened. Somebody did something in the crowd. I don't know what it was. So, we go back, like, so after about this, where it really picks up, Low-Ki goes going for, like, the title crush, which is where he goes cartwheel and then jumps up and hits the kick into the corner. He's in the middle of his cartwheel, and AJ just like sweeps as he's in mid rotation, like kind of on his hands. AJ sweeps with his legs. He sweeps the arms out, and Low-Ki just crashes to the mat. I was like, that's athletic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So AJ's athleticism is on point here. Hits that backflip drop kick, and then he then follows it up, and he goes and when he jumped, like he does the front flip senton, right?
Right.
Like, but he does it a little differently now. But when he did it back in these days, he'd run up and then just jump as high as he could and just flip right over top of him and land. Like it's a beauty of a move. it's a lot of athleticism. Like he just kind of runs up, jumps straight up, and flips. Like he doesn't like launch at him or anything. He just flips right over top of him. Beautiful, just a beautiful looking senton there.
So fluent, yeah, or fluent.
Oh yeah, AJ's athleticism is crazy. And then AJ goes to whip Loki, but he gets reversed with a somersault kick, where he kind of blocks him, like pulls the arm in, then like flips over and kicks AJ on the top of the head. Love that kick. Then hits a running thrust kick to the midsection, which ends up sending AJ through the ropes onto the apron. And this is where they say, where I remember hearing this distinctly on commentary. Mike Tenay says that the winner of this match will defend the X Division Championship on the next Ring of Honor show.
Oh.
A Real Hot independent group in Philadelphia.
Wow, really? I missed
Yeah,
that.
I just like that because these guys, like at this point, Impact is easily the number 2 company in the world, and they're on pay-per-view, all this stuff. They got some pretty big stars, right? And they call ROH a Really Hot independent group.
Yeah, that's something WWE would never do. Help promote another group that was competitive.
Well, this is also a few weeks after ROH debuted, and they were just a small touring company at the time, right? Selling their DVDs. Okay. That's all they were doing. And that's all they were for the first year or two. But if you counter it now, Impact, like, man, they would love to have their guys work an ROH show.
Yeah, no kidding.
And get one of their titles defended on one of those. Jesus. Like, it's just think of the change in that. Them making reference to them as an independent group, and now they're to me arguably a third biggest company in the world right now.
Yeah, turnabout's fair.
Second biggest company in North America for sure. So Loki goes to suplex AJ while he's on the outside back into the ring, but AJ ends up like suplexing him up and then like kind of drops him onto the apron feet first, and then he hits a discus clothesline and Loki ends up falling to the apron, falling to the outside. And then AJ goes for the Acai moonsault, but just misses it completely. They end up fighting back and forth on the floor. AJ gets in the ring, and then at one point AJ gets the advantage, punches Loki, then slides in the ring, runs to the other side, and then he comes out to go for the suicide dive. This is where Loki jumps up, just as AJ's head's coming through, and kicks him in the head. I always love that spot when a guy's going for a suicide dive, but somebody cuts him off with like when Cesaro does it with the uppercut, or somebody gets a kick. I love that spot.
Interrupting mid-flight.
Oh, it's impressive. You gotta have really good timing for that.
It's like the RKO out of nowhere that we know who is perfected over the years.
Oh yeah, the RKO. He's okay.
He's all right.
He's all right. Maybe he should have got a run in the early TNA.
He should have. He was old enough, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was just debuting in WWE at this point.
Oh wow.
And then so they end up fighting on the apron. They go around from the one side to the other side. They do like where the hard camera's shooting, and this is where Loki gets inside the ring. AJ's like back first to the ropes, and Loki gets up on his back and puts him in the dragon clutch, but like tarantula style. Like, the tarantula. Everybody like the move on the rope, but he puts him in the dragon clutch, but on the ropes tarantula style. I really like that.
Oh yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, and it can't get a submission from it, but because you're on the ropes. But it was really cool to look at.
It was a cool variation to the move.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they go back in the ring, and Loki puts on just the dragon sleeper, not the clutch, where he's in the camel clutch position, putting on the dragon sleeper. He just has the dragon sleeper on. AJ ends up getting the ropes. They break it. Then AJ just hits a springboard and he goes to hit the Styling DDT, the backflip into the inverted DDT. He lands. He's on the wrong side. He switches, then hits it. In reality, why didn't he just go complete the move on the wrong side?
Yeah, like you think he would have done whatever he could if it was a... Yeah.
But again, he's only 3.5 years into wrestling, so it might be his training, like, because you're trained to work from the left side, right?
Oh, yeah.
So maybe his training him wanting to switch back to the other side to do it.
Not his confidence, versatility.
I think it's his training that really put him into that. So Loki hits super kick. Loki then they get back up. Loki then hits the super kick on AJ, as he runs at him in the corner. Then Low-Ki runs at AJ, but AJ just hits this beautiful snap power slam, like Randy Orton style, but better.
Yeah.
And then AJ ends up, he gets a 2 out of it. Then AJ ends up lifting up Low-Ki and like just holds him in the air, then drops him with a beautiful brainbuster for 2.
Yeah, that was pretty.
Oh, I always love a good brainbuster. MRB does it the best, but yeah. Low-Ki dodges AJ running it, like, so they're back up. Low-Ki's in the corner. AJ runs at him. Low-Ki dodges, and AJ runs into the corner, and then he puts him like Low-Ki puts AJ up on the top. So like Low-Ki climbs up in front of him. AJ like fights him off, pushes him down to the mat. He climbs to the top rope, and then he goes for the spiral tap, but ends up missing it.
Right.
This is where Low-Ki ends up picking up AJ and gets him up in like it gets him up sets him up for the Key Crusher 99. But the setup position, if you don't know, is where he gets him on his shoulders in the shell shock position. Ryback's finisher. Runs his one head into the turnbuckle, comes back, and goes for it, but gets reversed into a DDT. Like, beautiful reversal, I thought.
It was nice.
Oh, yeah. So Low-Ki gets the advantage back. Like, they get up, they fight again. Low-Ki gets the advantage back, gets AJ into the corner, and he goes for the title crush, which is a cartwheel flip into the kick, and hits it. He goes up to the top, and from the positioning, and when he jumped off, I'm guessing he was going to hit a Phoenix Splash. But AJ gets up, and as he's jumping and as he twists, he lands on AJ's shoulders, and AJ brings him down, gets him in position, hits the Styles Clash, and gets a 1, 2, 3.
With the Styles Clash, yeah.
I thought that finish was perfect.
Yeah, that really showed AJ really good title defense.
Well, the complexity off that finish. He had to catch Low-Ki mid Phoenix Splash. Right, he's already done a twist into a flip, right, and so he doesn't know exactly where he's aiming, right? Yeah. So that's AJ getting into position to catch him.
And this isn't a doll. This is a human being. They're awkward, and he coordinates them into the Styles Clash so smoothly.
Yeah, it was perfect, like perfectly executed. I really enjoyed this match. If it wasn't for that exhibition tag match, man, this would easily be match of the night for me. And so from there, AJ Styles celebrating the ring, and who comes out? Jerry Lynn. Jerry Lynn runs out, as AJ is walking up the ramp. Jerry Lynn attacks him and runs him back into the ring. Then picks him up and just hit him with a normal pile driver. That was really kind of weird to me.
Yeah, not his finisher pile driver.
Not his cradle, just cradle. Just hit him with a regular pile driver, which is just like, that's odd to me, but looked devastating. Mm-hmm. Then goes outside, brings the ladder into the ring. Lynn then puts the ladder in the corner, hits a Northern Lights suplex on AJ onto the ladder. And then the ladder falls over into the ring. So then Jerry Lynn's kicking him, beating him up, then decides picks him up, and then this like a front release suplex just drops him onto the ladder.
That was vicious.
And then just starts beating him up some more.
Yeah, giving him the 14 years in the business.
Yeah, and then he goes like AJ's kind of like he's laying on top of the ladder, like head over top, like out like over one side of the ladder. So Lynn just does a running leg drop. Hulk Hogan style.
Yeah.
Yeah, you do it better than I do, so I can't do that voice. Yeah.
What you gonna do about that, brother?
Yeah. He then yells, "You will respect me, punk." So Jerry Lynn goes to the back,
leaving him lying on the ladder too.
He's lying on the ladder. So the refs and trainers are out there helping him. Then Jerry Lynn just comes sprinting right the heck back out. Yeah. And he starts stomping AJ. Then picks him up, DDTs him on the ladder.
Yeah.
So then puts a headlock on him, starts punching him.
And gives him some more. The 14 years of the business, baby.
Yeah. Starts punching him in the forehead. Then he picks him up, hits a cradle pile driver just onto the mat, not onto the ladder, thank God.
Yeah, no kidding.
And he hits a cradle pile driver. Then he puts a headlock on him again and just starts punching him again. I'm like, it was too much.
But the rivalry between AJ and Jerry Lynn is definitely heating up. They're escalating that one quickly, man.
Don't get me wrong. Like, I would have been fine if he had not run back out. I thought the second run out was a little bit overkill.
Maybe they told him we got to kill more time because the other match is late or something.
It could be, but it just seemed. Let's give another couple minutes to Lawler doing his promo though. But
Yeah.
it just seemed like. And they did come in under they had a 2-hour window on pay-per-view. They came in at 1 hour and 51 minutes.
Yeah.
So it's not like they were going hard against the time.
Or way too close to it, or way too early or something.
Yeah. So after this, they cut back to the announcers at the tables, and they talk about the match, and they get an announcement that that Sabu has requested that it be a ladder match next week for his championship match.
Above the ring, but pinfalls and submissions count too.
No. They
Or just
said submissions.
Just
but they said
submissions,
they're
not
also
pinfalls.
adding, so it's going to be a ladder or submission match for the NWA Championship.
That is going to be cool. I thought they pinfalls counted too.
That sounds
the ladder
no,
versus
just submissions. That's what they at least stated there. They said ladders or you grab the title or you make the person submit. You still have to go up there and climb up there and grab your title anyways.
Yeah, exactly. So why not just win it that way?
But also remember, Ken Shamrock doesn't seem to have his championship with him at any time.
Yeah, exactly.
Like he came down for that title defense last show, didn't have the title. He was being when he was being interviewed before the show, didn't have the title.
Maybe they're like remodeling it or something, and they don't have it available.
I don't know, but it's just weird. So I don't expect to actually see the title above the ring at all, because I don't expect that title to be there.
Yeah, if you see it, you always be like amazed. Eh?
So they cut away. They started to talk about the main event, but the cameras cut to the girls in cages dancing.
More of that.
It was weird. No, but it was weird because they were saying it's time for the main. Send it to Jeremy Borash in the ring, and that's where then they cut to the girls in cages dancing. So that you hear it's kind of a dead spot for a few seconds. Then you hear them start to just randomly start talking again about the main event situation and everything. It was just like, okay, way to know where you're going, guys.
They're like the filler segments. They're like filler segments of women dancing constantly. It's like,
Well, it gives them a chance to like along the bottom because they had to.
Yeah, their thoughts and they were associates.
Oh yeah, they were associates of the NWA at the time. So the crawl would show upcoming shows that the NWA NWA affiliates would be running, and actually one of them that was running across the bottom was Vancouver's British Columbia's own ECCW.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. They were I'm not sure if they're still affiliated with the NWA. So yeah, they were there. You see it scroll across the bottom, and I was like, that's ECCW. They're still running to this day.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is where they cut back. They cut back to the ring, and it's time for the main event of the evening.
Ryan Lawler.
Jerry's kid.
And all his Jerry Lawler facts, like the bull crap about making him sound like a pedophile and hanging around the high school with candy. And
I wrote them down. I wrote them down.
Oh, you want to go ahead? I didn't have a lot of notes, just how ridiculous it was.
So, yeah, he said he's no longer Jerry's kid. Then he says, I got some facts for you. And he says, fact number one, did you know that Jerry Lawler has been married 3 times? But the cat.
All 3 women younger than I was.
That doesn't. So there's 2 explanations of this. He's full of shit.
Yeah.
Or his mom and dad were never married, and he's a bastard.
She might have been a very young woman, and he was a baby. Or so he's older now.
No, but I'm saying but in the way he's saying it, he's saying they were all younger than him, and the rest took it the same way I thought. So yeah. So in my head, he's either full of shit or his mom was never married to his dad, and he's a bastard. I just assume he's a bastard.
Maybe.
Yeah, I just want to assume that
he sure acts like one.
that Brian Lawler is a bastard. Yeah. And then fact number 2 said he left tickets for Jerry to come watch him wrestle. Yeah. But on Wednesdays, he likes to hang out at the local high school with a fistful of candy. I literally wrote in question mark, I wrote, pedo? In question marks.
That's what he was saying.
That's essentially what he's saying. His father's a pedophile.
Pretty much. And you got to think his dad's like, how is he happy with this?
Yeah, and that's where they cut. And then they start playing Scott Hall's music, and then Lawler's like getting all mad, and he says, "Cut the music! I have more to say."
Because he's about to say that about his story about his dad, Jim Ross, and Vince McMahon. So they had to interrupt it because he can't start talking about that. They'd get sued. Vince McMahon would drill him to the wall, so they had to interrupt it. It's almost like, let me tell you that story about the boss and yeah, stuff's got to go bad.
Yeah, but then he yells, "Turn off the music," and they do.
Yeah, that's true, didn't they?
That's what's weird. So he starts going off on the crowd. So
and he thinks he's won.
Yeah, he thinks he's the best. And so Scott Hall comes out, and Scott Hall's just like standing behind Brian Lawler.
Yeah.
And he just keeps standing behind him. At one point, Lawler calls him "Last Call, Scott Hall."
Yeah, so it's running him down and yelling at the fans and insulting them. The whole time the fans just waiting for them. It was like way too long. It was like 3-4 minutes of him just standing there behind
Yeah, it was
them.
like a couple minutes. But and what I really thought, Hall looked like a dumbass through all this.
Yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, he's just standing there. And then just standing there. Then,
but I mean, he was having fun.
I think he came out way too
early.
Like, I legit think he came out way too early.
Maybe.
Yeah.
But I liked that, but it went on for too long.
Way too long. That's what makes me feel like that Scott Hall looked like a dumbass.
Yeah.
That spot right there. And then we get into and then Brian Lawler turns around and Hall
finally turns around and Hall finally gets into it. And then where are we here now? Then he turns around and Scott Hall floors him with 3 vicious right hands.
Oh, yeah.
Then whips Lawler into the ropes. Lawler slyly grabs the rope, thinking he's so smart, goes through them to the apron, and Scott Hall, of course, misses the attack. Lawler then nonchalantly enters the ring, only to be hit with an extremely vicious right hand. And what a selling job as Lawler sends himself flying over the top rope, flopping like a fish. And, of course, Hall celebrates like a bad guy.
One thing watching this entire match, Scott Hall seems so old to me.
Yeah.
Just the way he was walking, the way he was throwing punches, it's like, especially after watching everything on this show.
I mean, tough but old, yeah.
It seems such like an old school style, and just the way he walks, the way he does it, and he just came off so old to me.
It was all brawling. There was not really any much athleticism to it anymore. It was mostly
it's just what he can get away with, pretty much.
Pretty much. And it was Hall exits the ring after a reeling Lawler, grabs his head, escorts him from post to post, throws him into the barricade, grabs Lawler, throws him into the announce table, lets him get to his feet on top of the table, and hits him with 3 vicious right hands, grabs his head, and face slams him down hard into the tabletop. Ah! No, you'll break his nose! That was pretty cool. I can just hear Jerry Lawler on that one.
Like, my favorite, so they ended up fighting around the ring here, and like, my favorite spot is when they get over by the crowd, and Brian, he literally, like, kind of tries to go into the crowd, and as Hall pulls him out, he has a purse in his hand. Yeah. And, like, I don't know if he just grabbed this from a fan, or if it was, like, it was from a plant.
Getting a little ahead of me, though, on that one.
Oh, okay, sorry.
First off, like I said, the crowd's loving the beating from Hall, and I was going like Jerry. But anyways, then finally Lawler starts to run away from him. Like, he runs all over the place. Like, screw this crap, I'm out. Maybe he's off joining his dad at the high school with a handful of candy or something. Hall chases him into the ring, out of the ring, down the exit ramp, and then finally catches him, and prevents Lawler from leaving. But then that's when finally after they battle a few shots from Hall, finally then he throws him to the barricade, and that's when Lawler reaches into the crowd and grabs the bag, and then starts beating the crap out of him and coming right back, and then he grabs Hall by the head and pang, rams his head into the steel ring post. So that's how that happened.
I was surprised. I'm like, okay, I'm wondering, was there a plant there to give him the purse?
I think so.
Or was it just he's just like, I'm gonna grab some random person shit and smack Hall?
That had to be a plant, because that was just too perfect. And it was too convenient, and it was just the perfect type of bag to use. So I'm pretty sure that was a plan.
I think so. Yeah.
But anyway, he was chasing him around the ring, and they were all over the place, conveniently setting up that. And then, of course, Hall conveniently knocks him into the barricade right there.
Yeah, so, too much, yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was a plant.
If it was real, hey, all props to him.
More power to him. Yeah, that's
I feel bad for that lady getting there's some shit in her purse broken then.
Yeah. Exactly. Anyways, Lawler throws Hall into the ring, climbs on the apron, and of course the crowd's still chanting Jerry's kid, and he goes, and of course says, if you want, where's that thing about, you want to call Larry, tell me Jerry's kid. Oh no, that's later on when he says you can kiss my.
Yeah, that's when he grabbed the
Jerry
mic.
Kid, a little further on, yeah. Anyways, he They're getting angry. The crowd is saying Jerry's Kid is getting angry. He floors Scott Hall with 2 right hands in the head. Continues to taunt the crowd as he does it. Delivers 3 overhand strikes to the head, and he starts biting his head in the corner. Like,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Brian Lawler was a biter.
I didn't realize he was a biter, and I don't know if I'd want to bite Scott Hall at that point in his career. You don't know what he's got, man.
Yeah, it was pretty weird. How many? I don't want to go there, but as Brian Lawler continues to work over Scott Hall, hits a suplex, goes for a cover. Scott Hall says no. Brian Lawler whips Scott from corner to corner, goes in, delivers a shoulder hit to the midsection again and again, pitches right hand to Scott Hall's mouth. And Scott Hall like he broke his tooth or something, and smiles and taunts the crowd again. And that's and then of course Lawler chokes Scott Hall's throat on the bottom rope with his body, and then bounces off the opposite rope and slides.
Did you make the mention of the spot where he literally headbutted him in the crotch?
No, I missed that.
Oh, there's one point it was after the corner punches and the biting. He kind of just pulls Hall's legs out from under him, and he's like, you know how Jeff Hardy will hold the legs apart and then jump and leg drop.
Yeah, they hold the legs apart and do the attack to the crotch. Yeah,
but he headbutted him. I even wrote down Lawler headbutts Hall in the lower abdomen area.
Lower abdomen area, like the local medical facility.
or when it's not a low blow, it's an inner thigh shot.
Yeah,
hey, let's see what them are. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, I just want to pull that up. It was just funny.
But it was almost like the 619 or whatever, the move by
Rey Mysterio.
But his own his cheap version of it. He bounces off the rope, slides under the rope underneath Hall, then whacks him in the face from the side rather than grabbing the rope and swinging his legs.
That. Yeah, it was just like a
poor man's version.
It's like a 001.
Yeah, exactly. And then that's when Brian Lawler grabs the mic and says, "Anyone calling me Jerry's Kid can kiss Jerry's Kid arse." And of course he does a mic throwdown. They didn't do that back then. That was interesting. That's the thing now. The mic throwdown. He
tosses the mic, and then about 3 seconds later, you hear a. Because you hear the mic, you hear the mic hit the ground. Somebody didn't turn the mic off in time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, or nobody caught the mic because all you hear is a sound all over in the audio.
Yeah, it was funny because they weren't used to mic throwdowns back then. That was pretty innovative actually at that time. But anyway, then Scott Hall finally comes back, and the two exchange blows in the ring. Lawler ducks a punch from Hall and floors him with a super kick. Pretty impressive.
Yeah.
Then Lawler grabs the goggles while Hall's on the ground, puts them on, climbs to the top, turns about to do his finisher, and hits it, right? Wait, no. Before he can even do that, Hall grabs him off the top rope, springs to his feet, grabs him off the top rope, slams him down to the mat with the goggles on. Basically a preview of virtual reality wrestling at its best for the unsuspecting Brian Lawler.
God, it's not the virtual reality I want to be part of.
Yeah, exactly. Anyways, Scott Hall hits him with 2 more right hands. Lawler whips him into the ropes, ducks a clothesline attempt from Hall, tries to fly at Hall with a crossbody, but Hall catches him. Carries him for a few seconds for whatever reason, and hits him with a fall-away slam. Picks up Lawler.
That's one thing I've always... That fall-away slam from Hall always looked good.
It was
it never looked bad. He always got good height when he threw him, and he always got good distance away from him when he tossed them. He always made that move look good. Because I've seen some guys do fall-away slams, and the guy lands right above his head. It's just not a pretty move if you do it that bad. But with Hall, he's got good height and good distance on his toss.
And he's tall and strong, and yet he can still do it so what's the term? Agilely.
Agilely, yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that. I'm not good with words.
Yeah, I can't barely say that one.
Yeah.
But anyways, he does a foley slam. He then picks up Lawler, sets him on the top turnbuckle, climbs up and hits Lawler with a back suplex. Right? That was beautiful. Back superplex, sorry.
Yeah,
superplex.
Back superplex.
And then Scott Hall gives the signal, attempts to grab Lawler for the Razor's Edge. Of course, now referred only as the Edge.
The Outsider's Edge.
Oh, Outsider's Edge. Sorry, that's what they called it, the Edge. So the Outsider's
Sometimes
Edge.
They call it Outsider's Edge. Sometimes they refer to it as just the Edge. But yeah.
I always called it the Razor's Edge.
No, but when he left WWE, he started calling it the Outsider's Edge when he was in WCW. Right. Yeah.
Because you don't know who he is, but you don't know why he's here.
Yeah.
Anyway, K-Crush tries to come into the ring to break it up, and of course Hall has to release Lawler, but then he whacks K-Crush with the right hand, sends him over the top rope. Another great selling job by K-Crush, and of course K-Crush didn't hit him, so there's no disqualification, and that allows Hall to pick up Brian Lawler and this time hit the edge. Cover him. 1, 2, 3. Your winner, Scott Hall.
The last real outlaw, baby.
And
Scott
the
Hall.
crowd went nuts. They were great to see him get his revenge. But of course, then K-Crush comes in and buzzkill, man.
Doesn't even let it breathe. Like as soon as he gets the pin, K-Crush is back in attacking.
And then of course he does Hall takes a razor edge to him too. But then Brian Lawler hits him.
He tries to.
Yeah, great history. And then Brian Lawler hits him from behind, breaks it up, and low blow. Low blows him, breaking it up.
Low blows him, yeah.
A real low blow this time, not a fake one.
No, not an inner thigh shot this time.
Not an inner thigh. Yeah, well, actually, it is an inner thigh shot, but it looks like a low blow.
Yeah.
K-Crush takes off his belt, and Lawler and K-Crush crotch Hall up and down on the freaking belt.
Is K-Crush going to take his pants off?
Yeah, exactly. And then they hang Scott Hall with the belt from the apron like they did, or with the belt from the apron they did before. And of course, then the TNA officials, the excellent officials, come in, break it up, attempt to help Scott Hall and put him on a stretcher. And as they wheel him out, that's the end of the night, right?
No.
No.
The little symbol came up in the corner.
Yeah. But now in comes frickin' Jeff Jarrett with the steel chair, beats the crap out of everyone, and finally the show goes off the air.
Legitimately, he beats the crap out of everybody.
Doesn't care who they are.
like every person at ringside, including Scott. Like when Scott Hall's laying there face up on the stretcher, he smacks him.
Yeah.
I was just like, what the shit, dude?
And definitely no concussion protocol.
Nobody hit him right in the midsection, but on the front, that looked like it hurt.
Oh yeah, that was a midsection shot. Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't care where they hit with the chairs. They're like free for all with the chairs.
But if you just watch him smacking people, was it last week? Was the Titans there? The Tennessee Titans. He hit one of the Tennessee Titans in the head with a chair last week.
He doesn't give a crap.
He's cracking like everybody there's skulls, and it's just like, what the hell?
And when it comes to skulls, he's crack-a-lacking somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Lacking.
And then they just cut the block.
Yeah,
in the middle of his attack.
They say they're running out of time. They still had 9 minutes, but they had to run out of time.
I guess so, yeah. I don't know if there was like ads in there or something, and I don't know, but they just cut it out.
They had to go right that second for some reason.
I guess so, but I saw an hour and 51 minutes. They get a 2-hour window.
Yeah, so I don't understand why they had to do it, but yeah, another chaos ending, man. These endings are just like so involved and so much.
Oh yeah, but I thought I really enjoyed this episode, man.
Yeah, it's the first time I watched it. I was watching more for the booking, and I wasn't thrilled with it. But when I watch it just for wrestling quality, there's some damn good wrestling.
Oh yeah, there's some really
it is worth watching
shit on
if you
this
like
show.
Good quality wrestling, and then, of course the brutality of the ladder match and everything.
Like the ladder match, I was good, but again, the selling is what really took me out of that one.
And like I said, the booking made no sense because of the fact that 3 guys couldn't stop them.
And then like the X Division tag match and the X Division title match were absolutely phenomenal.
Yeah. Oh heck yeah.
Yeah, but the main event, it was what it was. Come on, it's nothing. Yeah. It's Scott Hall.
It's meant to be
Scott Hall versus anybody, really, is just a match.
Yeah, it's meant to amuse you.
Anyways.
It was almost comic relief. It's meant to amuse you at the end and let you have a fun time and just go home without having to be like, you're so tired you don't want to watch a long, boring match.
It's to see the hero succeed. It's to give the crowd a hero winning a match at the end of the show.
Yeah, feel-good moments. That's what they always call it. That's right.
Yeah. Well, really, no. He got crap kicked out of him after the match, but...
Yeah, not so feel-good.
Yeah, I don't know if they were trying to write Scott Hall off or
Jarrett
what.
Is the worst freaking booking in the entire promotion.
And this is when the man was booking this promotion with his dad.
I know. It's like, what the hell?
He's like, I'm making myself look strong with a chair.
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, I get the ideas. You know, they keep trying to bring him down, and he's almost like he's trying to be Stone Cold Steve Austin at this time. Like, if I absolutely become the worst person on earth, but the guy keeps trying to bring me down, the man, and I just keep coming out and fighting back, people are gonna start to love me all like Steve Austin or something.
It definitely didn't work.
Like, it's Jeff Jarrett. He can't be Steve Austin.
Yeah, it's Jeff Jarrett.
That's
Nobody
the bottom line, because the jobber said so.
That's no. But Jarrett's line would have been, that's the bottom line because Double J said so.
Yeah.
So bad.
I'm gonna go home and be with my baby tonight. Oh,
dude. So that was another episode of NWA-TNA Weekly Pay-Per-View inside the Asylum.
Yeah, I said. By the way, I think I agree with you. The ladder match was originally my match of the night, but I think the midget wrestling was fun. But I do think the tag team match ended up being my favorite.
It's just the four of them with everything they did. Like, trust me, the X-Division title match was phenomenal. But just the four guys working together and seeing like Triple X before they were Triple X. It's just, I think the main thing that sold me on that being a match night is that spot where it's Skipper off Daniel's back onto Estrada's shoulders and then onto Siaki for the Rihanna. That was,
and then he did the stupid Hurricanrama thing where he's like, just everything. It was so much action.
Oh, so beautiful.
I shouldn't say stupid. It was awesome.
Like there's been a few times I've watched these shows going, oh, why am I watching this? But actively throughout this show,
there was a lot of fun matches.
I really enjoyed this show.
And then there was the women's segment, which was basically just soft porn, smut, and no match.
Yeah, that I got through that. I literally got through that stuff in like 3 to 4 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. As pretty much everybody did back then, because 3 to 4 minutes is usually.
Yeah, that's all it took. Yeah, when you Jasmine, Francine.
Yeah.
Francine laying in the ring with the camera angle conveniently pointed up at her breasts.
Yeah. All right. So Daniel, thank you very much as always for being here on this show with me, and we'll be doing it again in 2 weeks.
Yeah, this was fun, man. I can't wait to get back in 2 weeks.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be great. And the next one features a submission ladder match.
Yeah, ladder versus submission. That ought to be interesting. The two specialties of the two men.
Yeah.
Can win either with their own specialty.
So, do you want to pop your social media before we sign off?
Yes, please. As always, you can follow me on Instagram under Danimal Daniel Jobber, all lowercase letters, and on Twitter, Daniel Jobber, capital D, capital J, and of course, go to my wonderful website, danimaldanialjobber.ca, where you'll find the link to the merchandise from Backbreaker Media, and including the Jobber Championship merchandise with there's shirts, there's hoodies, baby onesies, something for people of all ages, women, everything. Great merchandise there for the entire Backbreaker network, and of course my favorite, the Jobber Champion.
And so yeah, you can hit me up on Twitter at that Canada guy, on Instagram at that Canada dude. You can check out the rest of the podcast part of the network at Backbreaker Media because we're Canadian enough and we don't need the A.
Yeah.
Don't forget to check out all the great independent wrestling from Alberta on the Backbreaker VOD service through powerslam.tv. If you use the code BackbreakerFree, all one word, you get your first month free. And they have all the best content from around Alberta and around the world. Trust me, this service is amazing.
You're lucky you might see my pal, the original Marky.
Oh, maybe somewhere. Maybe somewhere eventually. But, yeah, and so I also want to speak to this. We are now part of the Win Column Sports Network. With the Backbreaker Media becoming the podcast service for Win Column Sports. Yeah, so we are part of the Win Column Sports Network, so please check them out, wincolumnsports.com. And thank you all very much for joining us on Total Nonstop Anarchy. And thank you, Danimal, for being my co-host as you are this week, last week, and every week from now on.
No problem. You follow me, Canada guy? Jobber out.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And please join us next time inside the